Gimme Daddy.
Hello everyone, this is Eman with Gamey Daddy, and yup, I'm still here. Anyways, I've been in and out of the Division loop because I've been doing life, and working on other projects, adjusting to some changes in life here and there. And for those of you who have watched my videos or who know, I've said in the past that I don't want YouTube to be my full-time gig. I don't want to go full-time on YouTube because, I don't know, I just feel like I want to do other things with life and with my time. Nevertheless, I still want to be speaking and pouring into the Division community, voicing my opinion as a gamer and, just someone who just loves to just run with people. I mean, I like doing it. I mean, some of you who know this channel, who know me or whatever, would just see me running randomly on the servers on PC and, just running missions with everybody. I don't really necessarily care. I want to meet, really seasoned players and learn and all that good stuff. Anyways, first of all, I just want to say a genuine thanks to those who kept their subscription. I don't have any clue why you did, but you did, and I really appreciate it because you kept the channel looking like a small channel, which is pretty nice. And also, for those of you who unsubbed, it's totally cool because, in fact, I owe it to you guys, all of you who've subbed in the past and all of you who currently subbed, for all the content I put up, because it was your initial subscriptions that motivated me to continue to put out much more content and just put more thought into my videos and all that. Because I remember when I had 25 subscribers, I remember when I had 100, I remember when I had 200, 500, I remember 1,000. I think I celebrated 1,000. I don't know, I think my wife and I, we were laughing that I had 1,000 subscribers, and now here at 3,000 subscribers, and then I took like probably a few months and a break, and I still have you guys here just still watching videos on the channel, probably recommending some of them. And however it's gone on YouTube, I just I'm just blown away that this happened to grow from 1 to 3,000 and all that good stuff. So thank you guys so much, and if you unsubbed, you can sub back if you want. I'm still going to be doing this, but it's not going to be as frequently as I would love to. But like I said, I'm doing life, and when you're doing life, you just got to face reality. I'm not here 24 hours doing videos. I have to go to work, like literally work, set hours, and then come back and then deal with other things and enjoy family, and then once in a while put out a video. But that's what it is. Anyways, let's move on to what I want to talk about in this video. I think in my last video, it was an opinion piece, or my last set of videos. One of them was about the state of this very, very loved game. Love it or hate it, the Division players really like this game, regardless of how they feel. And today, I'm here to share some of my thoughts on patch 1.8. And to be honest, let me just put this up front, I really don't have much to say about the PvP side of things because I'm not a PvP player in the Division, and I like PvE much more than I do PvP because PvE is a little more just objective oriented, let me put it that way. Now, I'm not saying PvP isn't, but I'm saying like, just the way we run around in a dark zone to, shoot other people, and then there's just this huge fight. It's just a sandbox where there's no goal in my mind except you create for yourself a goal, and you have to work. You do a lot of work for going into PvP. I'm not minimizing it, but the closest I ever got to liking PvP was Last Stand because I had some targets and I had goals to hit, but I still necessarily didn't enjoy it because there were so many balance issues initially, so I never really touched it much. Now, we've heard concerns about Predator's Mark and Nomad in the context of PvP. I'm just gonna put it out there. Those are some of the issues that I've heard as I've been watching videos, reading comments, and all that good stuff. Because honestly, this really affects PvP players in a negative light. When you make gear sets that are obviously too powerful, PvP players usually get affected by it. But in PvE, most PvE players never complain about overpowered gear. I mean, we need all the advantage that we can get against hordes of NPCs. And as a side note, by the way, have you guys seen the video of Mate doing Stolen Signal solo? I think you should watch it. He made it as far as possible, but to the last area, and it was, I think, the second hostage that kept getting him. But if you haven't checked it out, man, I would say what a sight to behold. This guy is for real. Taking on PvP, PvE missions by himself, even to the, you know, and the developers keep developing the missions to be more team oriented. That's why it's more difficult for him to solo them, but to complete them. But, you know, running through the missions, I just thought that was amazing. So PvE players are hardcore. I keep seeing these comments saying that PvE players are noobs or casuals or whatever, and I keep laughing because I know that 90% of PvP players cannot accomplish what a lot of PvE players do on the PvE side of things. And the same goes otherwise. 90% or maybe more of PvE players cannot achieve what, you know, the manhunt status that PvP players do. So there's no need in my mind for the community to be divided about these things. Everybody knows their strengths and everybody knows their weaknesses, you know. And now, you know, you see the Rogue 2.0 system, it's really causing a lot of ruckus within the community. But I know that this is not going to be an issue for the hardcore PvP players, because I know they're going to adapt. You know, true PvP players always find a way to adapt on any new meta, any new system. It might be difficult at first, yes. I remember when new patches came out after, you know, patch 1.2 and 3, and, you know, some of the, you know, the real hardcore PvP players, they complained. I was watching streams, reading comments, watching videos, but eventually they just started, you know, getting better at, you know, doing builds that worked for the meta, and developing playstyles that work for the meta. So regardless of the complaints that we get, I just laugh, because it's like a cycle. You know, there's a new patch, complaints, adapt, we now love it, or we now have to deal with it. So that's just the way it is. And so for now, everyone is gonna, you know, put out their, I don't know what it is, their concerns, and then eventually we're gonna move on. Now, the question we need to ask is, why did the developers drop this patch regardless of all the complaints that they heard? And the answer I have for you is, I don't know. Maybe it was a corporate decision, or maybe they wanted to just expand their resources on a different IP, because we all know that they're working on Avatar. And for those of us who are a little bit intuitive, they're working on some aspect of the Division 2. So using your resources in that area is better, because right now the Division is just a free game. So releasing new content for, you know, for this game doesn't necessarily make the developers money. And believe it or not, Massive, Ubi are here to make money. I mean, they're here to also try to give us a good product. I mean, I hope they would in the next coming games, because honestly, the Division did not necessarily land very well when it was released. So right now, what all this is doing is just to appease the, you know, the current player base or the fan base. Maybe just to hold us long enough together till they can release a second Division game, so that there's someone to play it when it comes out. I don't know. But what I know is, whenever a new patch is announced or released, love it or hate it, people keep talking about the game, and this keeps the game fresh and relevant. Believe it or not. Even though people say, well, how can you say relevant? I thought this game was dead or is dying. No. You see, let me tell you something. The controversy of the possible new meta and the Rogue 2.0 system is going to keep the conversation going. The tension is still going to be there, especially now that the meta has shifted drastically. I mean, I'm talking PvE players have new content. They can run around the DZ as much as they like and not worry about friendly fire. That is awesome. They can hunt rogues now. Even noobs can run around and chase rogues down and literally just cause a lot of trouble for them, even when they're not even skilled to play. So we have to discuss all these issues, and all these issues are going to keep getting, you know, spoken about and discussed, and the game is still going to be out there in the limelight. Whether you have good or bad press, you still have the publicity. So those that love it will make videos, and those that contend with it will still make videos. Do you guys remember this writer that writes for Forbes on their gaming side? His name's Paul Tassi. This dude was a big critic of the Division. Now he's writing all kinds of wonderful things about the Division on Forbes. Even though, I mean, I don't know what his, you know, level of, I don't know, knowledge about this game is, but I bet you he probably doesn't know how to min-max a build. You know, but he's now writing all kinds of good stuff about the patch being a free update and all that good stuff. And even other outlets are still mentioning the game, even in the midst of new releases. And if you didn't know, a game this old being mentioned within and outside the community is good for business. It keeps Massive in the limelight, it keeps Ubisoft in the limelight, and they can now release their other games based on, you know, the work that they're doing on the Division. And, you know, it may be a platform for them to launch, maybe in a positive or negative light. Nevertheless, publicity is good. Now, in my opinion, I'm genuinely excited about the refresh to the PvE content in patch 1.8. I didn't bother to play the PTS because honestly, I didn't want to provide a free testing service for the developers this time. Done that in the past PTSs, and you know, people get paid for this PTS kind of stuff, so I just didn't feel the need to do it for free. And it was much more beneficial for me to spend my time on other things. But when the patch drops, I'll be hunting gear, you know, I'll be hunting for new exotics, but until then, I'm just going to be running my incursions and looking for that optimum rolled MDR and other things, because now that I know that I can upgrade my gear, oh my goodness, oh my gosh, I'm so stoked. I can just find myself a great weapon and upgrade it to the newest gear score with all the division tech in the world. I love it. And to be honest, I'm excited about the introduction of hunters to the underground. I mean, they should have introduced them into the DZ to hunt rogue players, because that would make me go rogue. I would be a PvP player if I had to kill hunters. Because honestly, I'm fascinated about the hunter AI development, you know, in this game. I mean, I'm not talking about the reskin that they did for the legendary NPCs, because that was just lazy in my opinion. What I'm talking about is the hunters that you get in survival mode. The way they play, the way they look, the way they kind of build a scenario for them to, you know, attack you in the dark zone, and the way they act, you know, they'll just hide sometimes. Maybe somebody had died in an extraction zone and there was a hunter left, and you pop an extraction, you get more. I mean, it's just really a lot of thought put into survival. I think survival was one of the best ideas this game had. I mean, it even had a PVE and PvP mode. This game, they should have concentrated more on separating PvP and PvE, but mixing everything together just creates so much tension. But Massive, here's a free idea for PvE. Why not make an incursion around hunters? You're gonna draw a majority back to this game. I mean, I know PvP players think that they're the majority, but I think they're more the vocal majority. There is a majority of players that play this game not for the PvP. If PvP, you're talking games like Overwatch. You're talking some serious, you know, PlayerUnknown's Battleground. That's PvP well done. The Division's PvP, it just has a lot of issues with it. Or, you know, so I'm just throwing that out idea. Bring the hunters back. Some PvP players are gonna, you know, do it. But anyways, I'm just trolling. I just want, you know, I want to see this game grow. I want to see the next game come and do well. And honestly, I'm now to the point where I agree with people who always say that the Division is a huge beta or social experiment or whatnot. But, you know, because honestly, all these patches and all these changes, they just got really tiring. And I hope that Massive and Ubisoft have learned something, because if they haven't learned anything, I feel really sorry for them. They haven't been taking notes and being, you know, I would just say logging in all the issues and all the changes for their new IP releases, man, and they will be fools. Anyways, these are just some things I just want to just lay out there. And for this channel here, some things I'm going to continue to do. If you were wondering, so is this video going to be like a video where you disappear for another 4 months? Well, no, I'm going to continue to do opinion pieces. They might not be as frequent as possible, but I'm going to do them as much as I can. I'm going to share build ideas, and I'm going to just run missions in the community. I'm just going to play the game, man. I mean, goodness, what's the game there for if you're not going to play it? If you want, you can add me on Uplay, Gamey Daddy, or on PSN, MNK2. Those of you who know me, you know that I'm all about interaction within the community. So I urge you, leave a comment and tell me what you think about this patch. What I have to say is just what I have to say, but what you have to say matters much more. So thanks again for listening and watching. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll see you later. Peace.